The intensity of Hurricane Ian is raising big questions. What role did climate change play in creating this monstrous storm? Michael Mann is the Presidential Distinguished Professor at the University of Pennsylvania's Department of Earth and Environmental Science. He also wrote the book, The New Climate War. Michael, this storm grew so rapidly. Is there any doubt in your mind that climate change is to blame, or at the very least supercharge this thing?
Yeah, thanks, Stephanie. It's good to be with you. And, you know, there is no question in my mind, or really in the mind of most of the scientists who study these connections. It's really not that complicated. The warmer the oceans and the deeper those layers of warm water, and that's one of the things that we're seeing with the warming of the planet, that heat penetrates deeper into the ocean. So when the hurricane churns up those deeper waters, they're still warm. They don't dampen the hurricane as they used to. And so we're seeing more intense storms. We're seeing greater, as you allude to, rapid intensification, where these storms can balloon from a relatively weak tropical storm to a hurricane and then a major hurricane in just a matter of 1 or 2 days. And that, of course, makes it more difficult to forecast the impacts of those storms. We have less lead time to react to them. So all of these things are being impacted by climate change, and all of that is on top of sea level rise, melting ice, higher sea levels on which these storm surges are placed, giving us, again, even larger amounts of coastal flooding.
Then, since we can't dig into long-term solutions, knowing that these weather systems are getting turbocharged so quickly, is there any immediate way to prevent it?
Well, no, we can prevent it from getting worse. And that's some of the good news. One of the things that we've learned over the last decade or so in the science of climate change is that if we bring our carbon emissions down to zero, then the planet stops warming up and these impacts stop getting worse. And so we have to stop digging the hole. We're in a hole. We have to stop digging. We have to, of course, take steps to ensure the most resilience and increasing our adaptive capacity, building seawalls where appropriate, moving away from the coastlines, not building in flood-prone regions. There are things we can try to do to minimize our exposure, but there's no amount of adaptation or resilience that will allow us to deal with the worsening impacts if we let this problem get worse. If we continue to burn fossil fuels and warm up the planet, warm up the oceans, raise sea levels, intensify these storms, that's a cycle that we have to get out of, and we have to get out of it as quickly as possible.
And unfortunately, so many of these lax zoning laws in these regions don't change. Hurricanes come and they rebuild again in areas that simply shouldn't be built upon. Michael Mann, thank you for your work. Thank you for sharing some important insights tonight. I appreciate it.